I will talk to you all later, but I'm going to pass it to Parker right now to start us off.
Thank you, Abby. Welcome, everyone. If anytime during this presentation you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Also, this event will be recorded for any students who were unable to attend for today. Hello, everyone. My name is Parker Laceville, and I'm a sophomore communications and social justice major. And I want to tell all of you how special being a part of the service learning program truly is. You are a part of a cohort of over 6,000 students who have dedicated thousands of hours to numerous community partners. Every semester, we have surveyed our students, and overwhelmingly, students say that service learning has contributed to their Dominican learning experience in a positive way. Throughout my life, I have had many experiences working within my community, but service learning was a unique experience compared to other volunteer work and mission trips I have previously been on. What inspired me to become a social justice major was the wonderful opportunity I had to work with Canal Alliance ESL my first semester. This opportunity was eye-opening and extremely impactful. I worked as a teacher's aide in the ESL 200 class. My responsibilities included answering questions, practicing pronunciation, leading vocabulary games, and going over homework assignments. Through this experience, I gained a better understanding of economic and racial inequity in Marin County and throughout America. I've developed a better understanding of how privilege operates and my own privilege. And I've gained important skills of listening to and working with others to help them tell their own stories. Out of these experiences, I developed a unique definition of why I am here. I am here to listen. My generation has been told to use our voice, to refuse to be silent, and to speak truth to power. Yes, this is important, but it is only one side of the story of how to achieve justice. We have been told to speak, but at Canal Alliance, important to speak. Being silent is a violation. It means that someone or something more powerful than you is stealing your opportunity or ability to express your truth. But being silent is a choice. Being silent means remembering that it is impossible to listen if we are always speaking. The only way for voices at the margins to find their way to the center is if those at the center choose to stop talking. As a native English speaker, I am more at the center than the students I've been working with this year. My job is to be quiet enough to listen to them. I need to listen to basic things like the way they pronounce words, to conjugate verbs, and I also need to listen to the cues and clues about the challenges they may be facing in their lives. When we are silent and listen, we show respect and humility. It is easy to make yourself feel like the hero by immediately acting and speaking to try to change injustices, but we can't understand harm unless we listen. I'm here to listen because I don't want to interrupt those who are just learning to use their voice or just learning to speak a new language. My service learning tip to all of you is to practice being intentionally silent, but this does not mean to not engage. I'm simply advising you to create space for people to want to talk to you because you have to engage to allow others to share their voice. Thank you.
All right, so I can talk a little bit about my service learning tip, and then I have a few fun activities for us to do together. So a little bit about myself. My name is Abby Gold. I'm a senior at Dominican, and I'm a communications major with the minor in community action, social change, and graphic design. I'm also on the women's soccer team. And a fun fact about me is my very first class that I went to at Dominican was a service learning class. I didn't know it was a service learning class, and I've been in service learning classes ever since. I like to say I have a hidden talent of finding service learning classes that I don't know are service learning classes. And then I'm back in a service learning class, but it's always fun. And my first service learning partner that I worked with was Reading Buddies, and now I'm a fellow for them. So that's pretty fun that I get to help them even more now and be a part of the program. And my tip to you all is to have an open mind when you go into your service learning classes and your community partners, because you quickly learn that your community partners are a coeducator and you learn so much from them, more than you would ever think. And it's really neat to see, to go out into the community and learn about what you're learning in class and go into the community and then relate it and be able to write about it and talk about it as well. So now I'm going to share my screen because I have a fun little word cloud for us to do together. If I can get it to present. So we are right here. If you could please text 37607 and text A Gould 185 and let us know what is the first word that comes to mind when you think of service learning. Or you can go to polleverywhere.com/agould185. Might take a minute for stuff to come up, but the main ones that appear we'll see bigger and bolder. So community is the main one. That's something that I think about a lot when I hear service learning. There's excitement, engagement, impactful. Those are all really good ones. Community looks like the biggest one so far. We'll give it a few more minutes before I go on to the next thing. Open-minded, that's a good one. Thanks for listening. I appreciate that. Helping, patient, those are all very good words that you can use to describe service learning. Okay, so thank you for doing that. We'll give it a little bit longer and then we'll go to the next thing. Perfect. So it looks like it was the main one for all of you. That was one of the main words that I would have chosen to myself. And then I have one more activity for you all to participate in. We just want to learn a little more about why did you enroll in a service learning course? And if you texted 37607, you can just respond with A, B, C, D, or E now on top of that. And we'll see why everyone is in their service learning course. A lot of them fit my schedule. That's how I first ended up in one, but I now go back by choice because it's a really fun class. So hopefully you can do that too. Looks like a lot of work closely with the community as well. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much for participating in those and for coming here today. I'm going to pass it to Angelica.
So Abby, unfortunately, Angelica is stuck in traffic, so we're going to go to Sylvia.
I'm going to go to Sylvia.
Hi everyone, my name is Sylvia. A little bit about myself is I am a junior. I'm actually double majoring. So as a freshman, I started with psychology, but my career path that I desire to take is law enforcement, which I want to become a police officer, later on a detective, and later on FBI. So I really thought that psychology and social justice would be a good mix, because while psychology really focuses on the individual, which would help me help people in individual cases, social justice looks at the bigger picture and helps you help the community as a whole, which I think really go good hand in hand together. I have actually been taking each semester since my sophomore year, I believe I've been taking at least like 2 or 3 service learning classes, which is, it sounds like a lot, but really it's not. Like once you get into the group of things, it's actually like you want to do even more. But sometimes I want to take on extra hours, but I just don't have enough time in the day. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, so I remember in one of my service learning classes, we read a book called Juarez Girls Rising Above, which I read in one of my classes that I needed for social justice. And it talked about how this woman was doing a study, and she was a Latina herself, and she went back to Mexico to conduct a study, but she was Latina herself, but she still felt like an outcast when she was in Mexico because other people viewed her as like a gringa, which in other words in English translates to whitewashed, which is a common phrase that's used once Latinos go on and get their education and come back. Oftentimes they're viewed as whitewashed. And the reason I bring this up is because I remember when I first started at Dominican, I felt like I didn't belong because I didn't see people like me. There weren't too many Latinos there, but I'm happy to say now that I'm a junior, there's a lot more. So the community there is definitely expanding, and I see a lot more Latinos, especially in social justice major and in the CASC minor, which goes to show a lot. And then it started off with me feeling not at home at Dominican, and then I felt at home at Dominican. And then when I went back to Canal, I felt like an outcast because I felt like I was going, and I felt like that woman in the book that I talked about. I felt like I was a whitewashed person going back to where I came from. And I kind of, from a sense, could tell that the parents kind of viewed me like that. But once they heard me talk in Spanish, once they saw that I was still the same person that I was when I left, they were a lot more open-minded to having me there and a lot more like comfortable in asking questions and stuff. So the reason I bring this up also again is some advice that I have for you is to think about that. You might feel uncomfortable the first 2 weeks, the first 3 weeks that you show up for 2 hours, and it's just going to be for those first 3 weeks for 2 hours a week, and you will be fine. But think about the parents that feel like that 24/7. They can go to the DMV and they feel like an outcast because they don't speak English, or they can go to the clinic, they feel like an outcast because they can't speak English. So just keep in mind when you're helping them, that feeling, that exact same feeling you have during that first week or 2 or 3, they have that every single day of their lives. So yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you, Sylvia. Okay, Abby, who are we taking it away to?
Okay, so we are back to talk about our service learning website. So,
What about Daniela?
oh yeah, we're gonna pass it to Daniela next.
Are you out there, Daniela? Let's see. Maybe it has to unmute. Let's see, do we see her anywhere?
Yeah, Jenny, she's there, but she's muted.
Okay.
Daniela, she can't unmute. Can you unmute her?
Okay, now I can. Okay, it showed up that the host didn't let me unmute. So thank you. But hi, everyone. My name is Daniela, and I am a sophomore pre-occupational therapy major, and I'm double minoring in community action and social change and psychology. And my service learning experience started during my freshman year. I was enrolled in 3 service learning classes, 2 in the fall and 1 in the spring. And I had no idea what service learning was, so I was a little nervous when I started, and everything was virtual for me. But it turned out to be one of the best experiences out of my freshman year. Since I'm a native Spanish speaker, I got to join a group of students who were used since they speak Spanish to support community members in the canal. So I got to do a couple of different opportunities. I got to do digital literacy, which was working one-on-one with parents over Zoom, showing them how to use the computer and navigate the internet. And I got to work with 5 moms one-on-one in total. And that was a lot of fun because of the connections that I got to build with them. And many of them I still meet with and talk with today. And I also got to do Leyendo Juntos, which is reading to a group of K through 3rd grade students, which is really, really fun because kids are awesome and they make you laugh. And it's just great to spend time with them. And some of the children are actually children of parents that I work with in digital literacy. So it's cool to see those connections. And I also got to do rental assistance over the summer, and that was actually a work study opportunity. So I got to learn more about housing. And so through all of these three opportunities, I really got to learn more about the community. And for me, it was valuable, you know, personally with the interactions I had with the community, but also just academically in my service learning classes. And so my service learning tip to you all would be to be open to the experience and the outcome, and don't leave your experience behind once you leave the class. You know, ask yourself, what can you take away from it? For me, I didn't plan any of this, but you know, I enjoyed the experience, and now I have the community action and social change minor and the Edge Fellowship. And I think it's shaped a little bit about what I think I want to do in the future as an occupational therapist. So I would just tell all of you to go in and bring all of yourself to your experience. And I hope you guys really enjoy your service learning.
Thank you, Daniela. Now we'll go through our service learning website and talk a little bit more about that. So we have 5 different modules for you to complete. The first 4 are self-paced service learning modules based off of our curriculum that we have. And so you can go through at your own pace, take your time and go through it. Make sure you complete the exit ticket on each slide. And they're designed to teach you about each part of service learning. And then part 5 is more so for people who have already taken it in the past. You can go back and just review that part as well, because it's more of a review covering everything. Everyone still has to do parts 1 through 5. And then please have this completed by Monday, August 30th, because many of our partner trainings start next week. And then also on the website, there are some fall classes listed, so you can browse and look at that and check out the CAS minor if you want to add it as well. And you can declare it there as well too, which is pretty fun. Yeah, so that's our service learning site. And then you can also click back if you want to rewatch the orientation or anything like that as well on there too. And then the next thing I have to talk to you about is vaccination verification. So many of our partners are working with children and they require a proof of vaccination. So if you click on this link, and we'll see if, Jenny, can you put that in the chat too, please? If you click on this link, it's super easy to fill out. You just put in like your birthday, stuff like that, and then it should send you a QR code and a copy of your vaccination records online, so you can just show that to people instead of carrying around your vaccine card everywhere as well. And so that's super easy to do. Please fill it out. There's it. So thank you very much. And next up we have we're talking about Zoom office hours. And so there's open hours via Zoom. They're Tuesday, August 31st, 12 to 1, and Wednesday, September 1st, 12 to 1 as well. We're here to help you. So I believe Jenny will be on there. If you need any help, just pop on, ask her some questions. It's always easier to talk in person instead of shooting an email sometimes, because words can get jumbled. But if you want to look at it, you can go there, and they should also be in your syllabus as well for each of your classes. And next up, we have Lady.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lady. I am a little bit of background about myself. I'm a global public health major with double minor Spanish and community action and social change. And a brief background of my service learning experience. I started doing service learning the first semester of my freshman year here at Dominican. I started off supporting the Canal Alliance UP program in person, helping middle school students with homework up until the pandemic started, when everything shifted virtually. And during the shift, I became part of a wonderful cohort of bilingual students who were supporting our Spanish-speaking community, navigating online school and completing schoolwork through various platforms. This opportunity is still available for those of us who are bilingual, fluent, or a native Spanish speaker to support our local community programs needing our language abilities. whether that is in person or virtual. And we do ask that you stay for a brief meeting after our orientation is finished to learn more about these opportunities. If you can't stay, please identify yourself in your course. No fingerprinting will be required for this, and your participation will be highly appreciated and valuable, as well as empowering bilingualism. And just a service learning tip to share with all of you. During the pandemic, well, with the pandemic changing all of our life dynamics, it was very difficult for myself to know how to be present while supporting parents through a screen. I discovered that with small things such as turning on your microphone or camera and participating was a way for me to be present. But now that everything is moving into more of a mix of in-person and virtual support, I encourage you to think back on the ways you could be present before the pandemic, or before the pandemic, which ways you were present and how you will be present now during your service learning experience, and maybe include some takeaways you got out of the pandemic. So with that being said, I'd like for each of you to take a few minutes to write down in a piece of paper or post-it that you have nearby one way you can remain present during your service learning time. Take some deep breaths and ask yourself questions about how you want the semester to go. So start by writing in the present with I am, I can, I welcome, or I am open to get you started on writing your intentions. So I will go ahead and give you guys 30 seconds to do that. Let me go ahead and put the sentence starters in the chat so you guys can go back and look at them. And this is our reflective portion of our meeting this afternoon. Okay, I just put it in the chat for you guys. And then once you are all done with that, we will be holding it up on camera once everyone is completely done with it, so we can see each other's. And once you're ready, you can just hold it up. All right, so we can start holding ours up. I have mine right over here. And as you're finishing, you can just hold it up. All right. Thank you so much for everyone that participated. And we thank you also for joining our presentation tonight. So we hope you have an amazing semester. And a quick reminder for those of you who are native Spanish speakers, again, stay a little longer for a brief meeting. Everyone else, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us, and you can find more information about all of us, the presenters, Edge Fellows, in the section of the Edge Fellowship of our service learning website. Other than that, I think that is everything.